Okay, this is the second tutorial for the Exhumed level editor. I've changed a few parts of the interface, and now we can place any sort of entity you want into the game. Okay, so first it doesn't really look that different to before, but you can see here we have a new entities box, and that's actually replaced the background editor here. I decided to get rid of that because there really wasn't any point, because this does all the same thing. And so this lists all the entities in the scene, including just background items. And as you can see, if I make ground as I did before, that also shows up there. And if we have one of these two modes selected, well, we have place object mode selected, we can move things around with whatever's selected here. Move that ground around, or I can move that background. And if I press delete, that goes. And I can still add textures as I did before. And again, they show up here, and you can move them around. And it works with 3D models, I hope. Although one thing to note about these is that the 3D models, due to the nature of them being 3D, changing the scale and the rotation here doesn't have an effect on it. But we can change that by going to this, clicking this box here, which allows you to take the components it has. So here we want to change the scale for the 3D one. Yeah, you scroll across here, you can see the names of the components. I'll more on that later. Yeah, just change the rotation and scale for 3D objects. You have to change it here and not there. Once that's done, you see it's there. Okay, so I'll show you how the new entity system works. You see here we have these three checkboxes, so we can filter what types of things appear in here. So if we just want to see the backgrounds, just have scenery ticked, or if we just want to see the ground, tick that, or just everything else, just have that one ticked. Okay, so we can add a new entity. This brings up a box similar to the other one that allows you to configure an entity. So here I'll create a player that will be controllable. This type here, I have more information as I'm going along in future versions. But just there's this type thing here. All this does is for filtering this box here. It doesn't actually change any functionality. So here you see this components property here. Click this box to change it, and we can click the arrow here. Make sure you click the arrow. And that's up a list of different components. So I'm going to create the components necessary for. Don't have to worry too much about this because I'll give you a saved entity file afterwards with all this. So the first thing it needs is a ground walker component. There's currently no settings changed for that, but that'll probably change in future versions. Gamepad controller, so it'll be controlled by the gamepad. An animation component because it's using an animated mesh. And here we have to type the asset name of the model we use. So I know that dude is one. It will show up. It shows up in the model viewer. And so to control the physics, we want a rectangle physics component. Dimensions 40 and 50. I've found they work quite well. And mass, say 5. And I'll add a physics debug component. What this does, this just draws a box around the physics shape, so it's easier to see what's going on. So that's quite a useful thing for development. And just to show that particles also work. Although there's currently no way to see what particles are available, but I know there's one called smokes. So I'll add that as well. Okay, so if we click OK, that's and then I can now save that sort of preset entity there. So that way I can load that up and create the exact same again. Click OK, and you see he's there in the corner. And if I select it here, place object. Oh dear. Okay, there's some problems here. Let's try it with all of these ticked. Okay, I guess there's some problem with the filtering there, but yeah, with that sorted, with all of them ticked, you can select him and move his starting position around. Just check that all these... Yes, you can still move all of these around. Okay, so now let's test that, show that it works. And go. And you see the particle effect is there. It's quite hard to see against his background, but it is there. Okay, so let's quickly show you, prove to you that loading works. Let's create a ball and give this a circle physics component. Yep, those settings look okay. And then a physics debug component, so we can see where it is. Let's save that. Save it as ball.xl. Yeah, these are all XML files, so you can edit some of the settings manually, although I don't think you'd ever really need to. So click OK. Let's move that in somewhere we can see it. And we've got a ball there. Test it. There we go, we've got a ball we can kick around. And why don't we add another one? So just load entity. There, it's loaded the same settings. Called ball2. You don't actually need unique names for everything, but I recommend you do, just to make it easier to identify what things are. And also, there's a possibility it could cause some confusion later on, so I strongly recommend unique names for everything. See, ball2. There we go, 2 balls. Okay, one last thing I'll show you. This was already before, but I didn't make it clear. In this layer panel, you can actually add new layers. You can actually move them around using this. So if I say put that background somewhere, you can see here there's now nothing in this layer. And it's the background. And I think I have fixed the problem with... Oh, sorry, I did that the wrong way around, didn't I? That needs to go back there. Oh, sorry. I have to actually select the right thing. And yeah, so we can move that and actually puts it to the right place. But if we use the gamepad to move around, you can see that it is actually on a different layer. Just test that in the game. Let's check everything works. Yep, I think that looks okay. And saving still seems to work.